because a community is bigger than a school. J school mein gardecha, the school is doing its best. But once a student comes out of the gates of your school, they belong to a greater society. So is the society doing enough to ensure that kids are reading books? If they are, good for the society. If they are not, what are the two things that you believe, each one of you believe that society should do so that youngsters are reading more books? Let me start with somebody whose columns I don't miss. Jiwan sir.
Let me begin by complimenting Mr. Diwakar Basnet. You chose the most appropriate time, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. So when we talk about community, I think community boils down to family, right? So I'm going to give you a parental perspective to reading. I don't think we are doing enough. I've got three. He asked for two, but I've got three I formulas. Number one is initiation. You must initiate a reading habit when they are, Madam was saying quite early, I would go back to 6 months. I actually brought a picture of my friend who sent this picture. She's from the US. Her child is only 4 months. And she's given a book. Now, no one can read at 4, but what she does is she begins to touch, smell, feel, and love books. Like initiation, I started initiating reading when my son was 6 months old, but now this girl outdid me. She went to 4 months. Then I was kind of listening to different psychological experts. They say when they begin to touch books at a very early age, they begin to mime reading. They don't read. And my daughter, she's got Down syndrome, and so she's a little slow. But what she does is she keeps a book on her lap. She flips through, and then she mimes. So that initiation is very, very important. And so don't wait for your child to say her first alphabet. Start when she or she can begin to hold something. Instead of holding task and card, why not let them hold books? So that's initiation. Number two is inspiration. Reading is a culture, just as fighting is a culture. If parents are fighting all the time, those children are going to go up to become a street fighter. There's no question about it. All they saw in their childhood was parents fighting. So why would they not practice and learn and put into practice? If parents always talk about politics, children would talk about politics. I keep watching some political things on Facebook, and my son has started saying SKM, SDF. That's how children learn. So inspiration. So what I have now begun to do, my son and daughter, their rooms are filled with books, and I think I'm still not done enough. I've been told, when a child reaches the age of 3, you should at least surround her with 100 books. Don't wait for them to read. Just surround them with books. Inspiration will begin to happen in their life. And the third one is imitation. Imitation is when you read, your child reads. I became a pretty good reader because of my mother. My mother was not very well educated. She was from Darjeeling, but she was a big Prakash Kovid fan. Some of you would remember Prakash Kovid used to write Nepali novels, and my mother had a huge collection, and I used to kind of steal from her, and then I started reading. And you know what? I became an expert of writing love letters. My friends used to actually give me money. Back in those days, all we did was writing love letters, right? And I used to write pretty emotionally moving love letters. And my friends used to actually give me some money, like 8 ana, 1 rupee and all that. And I used to write letters for them. How did I develop the habit of writing? Because I read those emotional novels by Prakash Kovid. And then I don't know, my mother was not very well educated, I said, but she was even reading Maxim Gorky's Ama. It was mother originally, and it was translated into Nepali, Ama, and I began to read. Then slowly kind of generated the interest in Russian literature. And today, I'm a big fan of Russian literature. I love Tolstoy, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, Fyodor Dostoevsky. When did it happen? When I was a small child reading Ama by Maxim Gorky, which my mother happened to grab from somewhere. So initiation, inspiration, and imitation. If we did this every day in our families, communities will be full of children or families that will read. That's my take.